Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get over bad or extremely ridiculously bad exam results. So say you've got the world's shittiest exam results and you're in absolute despair, you're in pain, you're in agony, you're in actual physical pain because that's how bad your exam results were. This applies to all students, so college, uni, high school, GCSEs, A-levels, degrees, etc. And say in a degree, for instance, you didn't get that first or not even a second and you just got a third, so you got something like 40% or 50% or something like that. Actually it's lower than that, just don't quote me, but it's lower than that percent. And yeah, you flummoxed and now you feel like the world's ending. So what do you do in a situation like that? So basically get up the next morning, see if the sun is still in the sky, see if your feet are still on planet Earth. That is a good sign. That means you can move on from here and you can only go upwards and you haven't died yet. So pat yourself on the back, yes? And the second point is, what did you do? Like this year, or like why do you think you got a bad result? Are you going to put it down to intelligence, or are you going to blame yourself and say, oh, I don't know, my parents are not as clever and so I got their genes and now I'm stupid and no matter how much I try, I won't succeed and that's why I failed. So is that what you tell yourself at night? Stop if you do. Stop telling yourself that, because it's not genes, it's not other stuff like that. It plays a small part, but not a big enough part for you to fail, basically, yeah? So just say, what did you do this year? Did you party too hard? Did you drink too hard? Did you club or whatnot and you didn't set priorities? Because you need to learn from these lessons before you go into next year, and you need to understand your priorities and set your head straight before you fail again, and before you know it, you might be ending up in a vicious cycle of failure and you'll be in despair, depression and all sorts, yeah? So just set your priorities. Maybe a good way to set priorities is just write a list. Be A4 plain paper or A4 lined paper, write a list of all the things you need to do. So say today, I've got maths today, I need to do shopping, I need to have a shower, I need to see my mum. So what are your priorities? If family and studying are your priorities, write one next to each of that, next to each statement that is your number one priority, yes? And then just go down to shopping. Can you survive on the oatmeal in the drawer you've got tonight? Well, take that as number 3, because that's not a huge priority, because you can survive without a day of shopping, right? So just prioritize your day-to-day life, literally, and then eventually your long-term future will be prioritized because you'll get into a habit, of course. The third point is, did you hassle your lecturer or teacher enough? For instance, this applies to uni. I believe it's, I got a calculator and it's roughly £20 per hour you pay for uni life, right? That's including your, what, £27,000 debt over 3 years. Yeah, and that's roughly £20 per hour this lecturer is getting just for you. And imagine the 500-600 people in the lecture here all next to you. That's how much they're contributing and you're contributing as a total to university life. So are you hassling them enough? And if they're telling you, ooh, we're not busy, tell them to shut the bleep up, right? Well, don't say that, but tell them, look, if they're constantly saying that, then say, I want to rearrange a meeting with you, I want to see you, I don't want to see your personal assistant or your damn, I don't know, your curly head assistant down the road. I want to see you. I'm paying you for tuition, right? We're getting debt for £30,000 because of you. So just say, look, I need to speak to you, whether it's at your office, at your house or in the car park, and I need to get this question straight because it's been bugging me for the past 4 or 5 months and no one else knows the answer. So you need to clarify it for me, yeah? So make sure you are persistent and you are very confident and assertive in asking these questions, yes? And make sure you think of the questions beforehand and write them on a notepad and then present them, because you might have some really cool questions and tricky questions which you might later remember that, oh shit, I was meant to ask these guys and now I've forgotten. So you'll have to, that'll delay you for another week or 2 weeks. The fourth tip is, say you've flunked this year, whether you're in your AS or A2 year or degree or GCSE, well, if it's GCSE, then good luck. But from the get-go, you need to form study groups. Say you've got intensive material. Say I keep on referring to a degree because I'm basically I've had experience of doing one. So, for instance, in my psychology degree at King's College London, we had a biological sort of lectures. Yeah, we had biological lectures, and they covered so much material, it was ridiculous. Literally, like they talked about your, I don't know, your neurons and the stuff inside your neurons and the stuff inside that and the stuff inside that, and literally it was like a never-ending workload. And then what we did, I recall my friends Christy and Azzy, so salute you guys. Yeah, we formed a study group. Yeah, so we used to meet each week, set each other tasks and priorities, and meet each other regularly. Say if it's on a Friday every week, we used to tell us, look, you do A, I do B, and Christy, you do C. And then we used to come together, share the workload, and we share the notes together, and that really cut our workload by what, 66%, because it's at 2/3. And it was ridiculous. So study groups are ridiculously efficient if you have the discipline to meet every week and do your part of the work and don't chat. Well, you can chat after you've done the work, right? Not during it, otherwise you're defeating the purpose. So that's a golden tip right here. The fifth is, if you've failed and you're the way you get over bad exam results, push it under, right? You can't, come on, you can't turn paranoid over it and say, ooh, crap, look, I just missed by 1% or 2%, whatever you missed, right? And now you need to push it under the carpet, and you need to tell yourself, look, next year I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn from my mistakes, you got to learn from your damn mistakes, otherwise you're going to stay where you are. So maybe I keep on talking about lists because they're vital and they're crucial. Just maybe write something like write some feedback of your year, reflect on it, right? And say, why didn't I succeed this year? What were the issues? Again, were it because I prioritized other things too much? Was I not studying enough, or was I working too hard but not studying smartly enough? And by that I mean, were you doing 10 hours a day in the library, but then you were covering material that wasn't even relevant to your exams? So nail down your weaknesses and where you think you flunked, yes, and then you'll have a map to work from to improve your next year results, yes, and reset these exams and smash these too. And my last tip is, how bad was the result? Really be honest with yourself. How bad was it? Say you needed 50% to pass, or 60 or 70 to get what you wanted, right? Why didn't you reach that? How big of a gap was there between your expectations and reality? Just assess yourself and then ground yourself, yes? And then ask yourself the questions, why did you mess up, yeah? Make a list, a long one, and it's not over. Remember, it's not over that you failed this year and you need to resit it. You haven't died, nothing. It might have cost you 9,000 quids if you're doing a degree, and maybe an A-level year or whatever for you, whatever situation you're in. But ask yourself, what is the worst? And I'll use this as motivation. I know, it's of course it's a sad experience to fail, but I'm going to use this to pick myself up and work doubly and triply hard and smash and get like something like 905% next year, yeah? And I hope these tips have helped, and I've used some myself. I can assure you I've had plenty of failures in life, exams, personal life, everything else, and I hope these have helped as much as they've helped myself, and I hope this getting over bad exam results video has helped you. And if you like this video, please leave a comment, whatever, subscribe, and I wish you the best in all your exams and your future. So take care and good luck. Bye.